CYRILSWEET are a major top 10 construction consultancy, and we advise the NHS for anything from conventional projects and right through to major procurement programs for Procure 21, the LIFT program, PFI and PPP. The business has a very large number of consultants, and we deliver anything from feasibility work, health planning, sustainability consultancy, cost work, right through the delivery of the building and its commissioning, and finally post-project evaluation.
The key to delivering sustainable buildings is to ensure that they are adaptable and flexible in the face of changes, so that you don't find yourself in the position of jettisoning what would otherwise be perfectly good buildings. When you make a major capital investment, you're really looking at a building which has at least a 25-year lifespan. And as we all know, over 25 years, there are likely to be major service changes and also external environmental pressures that come through legislation or changes in policy areas, the sorts of things we've already seen in transport and waste management. And the building needs to be able to deal with those effectively. The principles which we apply at CYRILSWEET are all focused around the need to look at the life cycle of an asset and not just concentrate on the initial capital investment. This approach is consistent whether we're looking at a new building or a building that's already in use. And there are three key areas which we always address. Service transformation is centred on the model of care which the organisation wants to achieve, and that's really at the heart of everything that we do. We work with the client to really understand what it is they're trying to achieve, and then to collaboratively benchmark that service against practice elsewhere in the NHS. So for example, working with the West London Mental Health Trust on the development at St Bernard's Hospital, we have visited with them a number of other NHS organisations which have been through a similar transformation process and have moved into new buildings, so that we're able to incorporate the lessons which they have learned into the plans for St Bernard's. Flexibility and sustainability really need a building which can be used as much as possible throughout the week, and we know that underutilisation of buildings can be a problem for the NHS. So our role is to work with the NHS to ensure that as many partners as possible are brought together into any new development or even an existing building. So a good example of that would be in Southampton, in our work on the Wellbeing Centre, where we were able to work with the client right across the statutory sector and the third sector to ensure that as many partners as possible will come together to deliver the service and make sure the building is in active use throughout the week.
Designing in accordance with the Green Guide to Specification and reducing waste through good design and good on-site management will play an important part in reducing the environmental impact of projects and will make good economic sense too. Initiatives such as the Waste and Resource Action Programme, WRAP, do bring good benefits but need to be more widely applied within the NHS. But perhaps the most significant decisions will be around energy, where the options fall into two broad categories: reduced energy consumption and low impact energy generation. The solutions that prove economically viable are likely to vary between community facilities and acute.
In any building, it can be quite important from an investment and a life cycle point of view to zone activities. So for example, in an acute hospital, we would always try to concentrate high-tech, highly serviced areas. That gives the users much more flexibility over time as service models change. It also makes it easier to maintain the infrastructure and develop the infrastructure in those areas, and separate those from areas which have a lower servicing need, so for example office areas. And this is a principle which we've tried to incorporate in our planning work at the Royal Sussex County Hospital, where they're enhancing the site with a number of services right across the range, from neurosurgery through to office and teaching areas.
A good example of an acute project is Phase 2B of the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast, which is a £100 million critical care and trauma centre designed by Capita Architecture and Scott Wilson. The challenge was to limit the environmental impact of a building of this nature, and the client's brief was to achieve both BREEAM and NEAT excellent ratings and to exceed building regulations. A range of options were considered and those that proved economically viable were implemented. In terms of energy reduction, the design features a griffin corridor to the outside of the ward templates as a separation from the external envelope to control heat gain and loss. The U values of the external envelope significantly improve on current regulations. We have low velocity ventilation systems with high levels of heat recovery and power perfector units to optimise load distribution across electrical systems. In terms of low impact energy generation, we have solar panels and ground source heat pumps to provide base heat load, combined heat and power, CHP, as part of a separate central energy centre, and photovoltaic panels for electricity generation.
So to sum up, the sustainability targets in the NHS, I think, are certainly here to stay, and I suspect over time will become more important. It's also the case that these targets are likely to change, as do so many other issues to do with policy. And as things change, then obviously so the solutions have to change. The challenge, I think, can be met, providing we integrate these solutions with the challenge of providing excellent care and affordability. And I think if we use the whole life route of looking at the project right from beginning to its very end, I think it can be delivered. I think CYRILSWEET are very well equipped to deal with these future challenges, look at the solutions and to continue to deliver them.